Hey warrior, today we will have a deep dive into how one need to protect life by identifying those 7 facts and letting go of your energy. Have you ever noticed that some people don't really want help, they want attention? You pour your time, your energy, even your peace into them, yet another even chance. Instead, they drain you, guilt you, and somehow make you feel responsible for their choices. The choices teach a hard truth that teach you compassion without wisdom becomes self-destruction. Marcus Aurelius warns us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Being good doesn't mean saving everyone. It means protecting your own integrity, your own mind. Today we will uncover 7 types of people you must stop helping because you are stopping caring, but because your energy is sacred. This lesson will sharpen your discernment, guard your peace, and remind you that you can't carry those who refuse to walk. Comment below. I protect my peace. Let's begin. 1. The perpetual victim. The number one in this list of 7 is the perpetual victim. They always have a story behind. This type of character always brings a new story for you. And in every story, they are the victim, though the world wronged them. Their boss doesn't see their worth. Their partner doesn't understand them. Their parents didn't raise them right. No matter how many times you listen, comfort, or fix things for them, the story never changes because deep down they don't want a solution. They want sympathy. This is one of the hardest truths Stoicism forces us to face. You cannot help someone who refuses to help themselves. The Epictetus, the greatest guru, said, "You cannot teach a man what he thinks he already knows." The perpetual victim lives in the blindness. They think life is something happening to them, not something happening for them. Their identity is built on suffering. And if the suffering stops, who will they be? So they cling to their pain. They feed on the energy of people who cares them. You become their emotional lifeline, the one who always picks up the phone, always gives second chance, always believe that this time they will finally change. But they don't, because the comfort in misery is still comfort. They want empathy, not accountability. The Stoic would call this learned helplessness of the soul. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it." A victim always refuses to change that estimate. They prefer to see themselves as powerless because it absolves them from the responsibility as long as someone else is to blame. They never have to face their own reflection. You, meanwhile, become the rescuer. If you become a rescuer, you offer advice, time, even the money. But no matter what you give them, it's never enough because you are trying to fill a hole that can only be closed from the inside. And energy, every time you help, you unknowingly reinforce their weakness. You teach them, if I stay broken, someone will come and fix me. Helping a perpetual victim is like pouring water into a cracked cup. It disappears, giving you empathy and damn changed. Stoicism teaches discernment and compassion, knowing the difference between the someone in temporary pain and someone addicted to it. Seneca went on saying, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." More than 75% of time generally we waste, wasting it on people who refuse to stand up in one of the quietest target of our lives. So how do you respond? Observe before you offer. Don't rush to rescue such people. First, see if they take any action themselves. Set emotional boundaries. You can listen once, but not forever. Compassion has an expiration date. When accountability never shows up, mirror their language back. When they complain, ask, "What can you do?" and then, okay, ask them, what can you do? The emotion will lead you. Okay, set emotional boundaries. You can listen once, but not forever. Compassion hand has always an expiration date, and accountability never stop. Mirror their language back. When they complain, ask, what can you do about it? If they deflect again, you have seen the truth. Withdraw quietly, not in anger, but in clarity. Your silence will teach more than your sympathy ever could. You are not cruel for walking away from the people who cling to their misery. You are simply choosing wisdom over waste. Marcus Aurelius carefully reminded us, repeatedly, the soul become dyed with the color of the thoughts when spent too long around a victim, and their helplessness start to color you too. So the next time someone reaches for you with the same old story, pause, ask yourself, am I helping? Am I enabling? Then breathe, step back, and let them face their own lesson, because true kindness isn't rescuing someone from their consequences, it is allowing them to grow through them. Affirmation. Along with me, sound it. I give help where it is received, not where it is wasted. To the energy leech, they don't always ask for help with outreach. The second type of people are the energy leeches. Sometimes they appear charming, thoughtful, even unvulnerable, but spend enough time around them and you start to feel it. That slow drain in your chest after every conversation. These are the energy leeches. They don't like or to take your money or your possession. They take something far more precious, your focus, your calm, your vitality. And energy leeches live in constant need of emotional tension. They thrive on long conversation about their chaos, their heartbreak, their endless frustration with the world. When you try to uplift them, they nod politely. But soon they return to the same dark spiral. What they see isn't resolution, it is your reaction. They feed on the energy, exchange itself. Stoicism teaches us to protect our inner fortress. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. But the energy leech, test that boundaries. They will text you at a midnight, call you at work, and pull you into the problem they have created. For them, night is immortal. It is their life. They disappear when you need support, and yet when they reappear, you feel guilty for saying no, as if protecting your peace makes you a selfish person. That guilt is their weapon. They don't always mean harm. Some simply never learned emotional responsibility, but others have mastered the art of subtle manipulation. They praise your empathy, your wisdom, your kindness, because those are the very qualities they exploit. The more you give, the more they take, until your well runs dry. Seneca said, associate with those who will make you better. When your energy is constantly being drained, you are not becoming better, you are becoming depleted. Stoicism doesn't demand you isolate yourself from the world, but it does demand discernment to know who deserve your time and who only consume it. So, how can you recognize an energy leech? They often start every interaction with urgency. For them, every item is urgency. Whether it is day or night or evening, everything is a crisis for them. Every conversation becomes about them. When you speak of your life, they pivot back to their life. When you need rest, they call it distancing. When you set boundaries, they call it coarseness. But true friendship doesn't fear boundaries, it respects them here. What the Stoicism would tell you to do is, as an adult, audit your energy. After spending time with someone, ask yourself, do I feel lighter or heavier? Your body often knows the truth before your mind does. Stop explaining your boundaries. The more you justify your need for space, the more it invites negotiation. These are declarations. Once again, I am repeating, boundaries are declaration, not debates. Replace reaction with stillness. When they demand your attention, pause before responding. You will notice how many emergencies resolve themselves when you don't rush in. Refueling before you rescue a drained person can't truly help anyone. Start your morning, your silence, your solitude. That's your battery pack. Helping others is noble, but self-sacrifice without wisdom become a razor. As Epictetus has said, if you want, ask yourself, do I feel lighter? So as tension are resolved, more justified. The more you justify a need for space, the more it invites negotiation. Boundaries are declaration, but not debates. Replace reaction with stillness. When they demand your attention, pause before responding. You will notice how many emergencies resolve themselves when you don't rush in. Refuel before you rescue. A drained person can't truly help anyone. Start your morning, your silence, your solitudes. That your battery pack is helping other is noble, but self-sacrifice without wisdom become a razor. As Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Let them call you distant. Let them misunderstand. It's better to be misjudged for protecting your peace than to be admired while you quietly burn out. The energy leech doesn't need your endless attention. What they truly need is your absence, so they can finally meet themselves without distraction. And you will notice how silence feel like oxygen once again. Affirmation. My energy is sacred. All along with me. Repeat it again. My energy is sacred. My energy is sacred. I give it with intention. I give it with intention, not obligation. Number 3. The manipulation helper. Such character look cool. Some arrive with a smile, a warm tone, and the word, I just want to help. They will fix your mistakes, offer unsolicited advice, and jump in before you even ask. But underneath their kindness hides a contract you never signed, one that says you owe them. Now, these are the manipulative helpers. People who weaponize generosity to gain control. At first, their gestures feel flattering. They buy you coffee, offer guidance, maybe even solve a few problems for you. But soon you start hearing several reminders. What I did for you? After everything have done, this is how you treat me? Their help was never a gift. It was a lease. They are expecting in return. They don't want a connection. They want credit. Stoicism warns us about the seduction of dependency. Vanessa once said, he who gives for gratitude's sake has already received his reward. Manipulative helper gives not out of virtue, but out of calculation. So therefore, be aware from the manipulators. Their kindness demands repayment in loyalty, guilt, or obedience. You find yourself making choices to please them, not because it is right, but because you feel indebted. They disguise control as care. They correct you, your life to keep you small. And when you begin to grow beyond their influence, they play the motor you are. The change that the point you were mean to, but they can't stand your independence because it removes your power source. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, a truly good person. Help because it is the right thing, not because it earned them leverage. A Stoic understands that real virtue asks for nothing in return. The manipulative helper, however, measures every act like a transaction. Here is how to recognize one. They help without being asked but expect to be thanked endlessly. Their favor come with the emotional strings. After all I have done for you, They rewrite history, making your success part of their narrative. When you assert independence, they guilt trip you for being ungrateful. So, how do you deal with them? Acknowledge without indebtedness. Say thank you sincerely, but don't let gratitudes become a chain. Stop accepting unsolicited help. If someone insists on doing things for you that you didn't request, it's okay to decline politely. Return to reciprocity. Real relationship be through balance. If one side is always saying it is not love, it is control, detach emotionally. Once you see the pattern, you can step back without drama. You owe explanation only to their consensus, not to their expectation. A stoicism. By refusing their control, you are not betraying kindness. You are honoring its true from. Remember, gratitudes should feel light, not heavy. Most time, gratitudes become so heavy. When someone helps become a burden, it's no longer help. It is a trap as virtue. And when you release yourself from their grip, something beautiful happens. You start giving again, not to prove, not to please, but simply because it's right. That's what Stoicism called freedom through virtue. Affirmation. Sound these words along with me. I give freely and I owe no one for doing what's right. For the chronic complainer, you recognize them immediately. For the chronic complainer, before every sentence, there's a loud storm that follows. Whenever they go, they have a story for every disappointment. A region, life keep treating them unfairly, and an excuse ready before anything even begin. These are the chronic complainers. People who mistake venting for problem solving attention for connection. At first, you might think you are being kind by listening. You nod, you empathize, you share a solution, but soon you realize that they don't want a solution. They just want an audience. Every time you offer advice, they find a reason it won't work. Every time you show them a door, they point out the lock. And the longer you listen, the more they recruit you into their misery. Marcus Aurelius warned, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When you stay around a complainer too long, your thoughts start to lose their brightness. You begin to absorb their cynicism, the subtle belief that world is against you and there's nothing you can do about it. Stoicism calls the contamination of the mind. When another person is weak, in fact, your own strength. Point number 4, the chronic complainer doesn't realize that complaining is a form of confession. As Seneca wrote, complaint is the confession of a weak spirit. They are not sharing pain to heal. They are broadcasting helplessness to be validated. And once you validate, it's enough. You become their emotional courage. You start carrying their pessimism, feeling their weight as if it's all yours. So Stoicism teaches a different way. When something goes wrong, a Stoic doesn't complain. They correct, they act, they adjust, they move. They believe the obstacle is the path. But the complainer lives in a circle. They confuse talk for effort and noise. Any growth, any moment they do, they will convert into a noise. Their favorite phrase is, you don't understand how hard it is. But the truth is they don't want to understand how capable they are. Here what happens when you keep listening, you start apologizing for what you didn't do. You can censor your joy so you don't feel. You leave conversation tired, heavy, and strangely guilty. That not empathy and emotional erosion. The Stoic approach is clear. Listen once with compassion, then lead them to responsibility. Ask questions that shift the focus. What one thing you can control right now? What have you tried already? What will you do differently next time? If they respond with the silence, excuses, or another complaint, at your answers, you have hit the limit. where empathy becomes enabling. So, what do you do next? You step back. You stop being the echo chamber. You don't have to argue or scar. Simply stop feeding the cynic or psyche or cyclic when they start venting again. Change the subject or excuse yourself politely. Silence is sometimes the most powerful mirror. When their words stop landing, they will hear their own noise for the first time. Epictetus once said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinion about them." The chronic complainer has built a shrine to their opinion of worshipping them daily. You cannot save someone who kneel before their misery, but you can save yourself by walking away. True compassion is not giving them your ears forever. It is giving them the space to hear themselves. Affirmation. Please sound along with me. I listen with empathy, not endurance. I protect my peace from endless complaining. Point number 5. The entitled taker. This is another form of emotional blackmail. They don't ask, they expect. They treat your time, your kindness, even your patience as if it were their birthday or birthright. These are the entitled taker, people who confuse generosity with obligation. They never say thank you because in their mind you simply did what you were supposed to do. At first, they might seem confident and charming. They ask for help in the ways that make you feel useful, even admired, but slowly the pattern reveals itself. Every interaction tilt one way toward them. When you give, it's taken for granted. When you refuse, it's treated like betrayal. Their motto is unspoken but clear. If you love me, you do it. Stoicism calls this the corruption of virtue. When goodness become a tool for manipulation, Seneca wrote and saying that he who gives only to receive observes nothing. But the entitled taker reinvent this truth. They believe they deserve what they never earned. They prey on the guilt, compassion, and your desire to be seen as good. You start doing favors just to avoid conflict. You start apologizing for having boundaries. The Stoic teaches that real generosity begins with the choice, not coercion. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, do good but expect nothing in return. That's true virtue. But he never said, let others exploit your virtue. There is a line between kindness and the compliances, and the entitled taker thrive on blaring it. The entitlement shows in the subtle way. They interrupt your rest because it will just take a minute. They frame corruption, they frame manipulation, and they actually frame about others. They frame the things in the frame, coldness, they remember selfishly. Stoicism is the philosophy of the self. Epictetus taught, no man is free who is not master of himself. Every time you say yes out of guilt, you surrender a little of the mastery. So, how do you deal with an entitled taker? Redefine help as a choice, not a duty. You don't owe your energy to anyone who doesn't value it. Say no without a story. Explanation invites negotiation. A calm person. No, I can't do that. Is enough. Can you do it? Can you say I can't do it? This is enough. Give the conditionally, not endlessly. If you choose to help, set clear limit on the time, effort, and scope, and stick to them. Observe the reaction. The people who respect your limit. The wrong one will reveal their entitlement the moment you set them. The Stoic reminds us that you can't build virtue in a space that constantly drains it. If helping someone destroy your peace, that's not kindness. It is self-abandonment. The entitled taker will never stop asking. It is your job to stop offering. Remember, saying no doesn't make you unkind. It makes you, yes, more meaningful. When you stop giving by guilt, you start giving by grace. Seneca said, he who is everywhere is nowhere. So do you want everywhere? So therefore, you have to choose the word no somewhere. Where you give yourself to everyone who demand it, you disappear. Reserve your energy for the people who appreciate it, the one who grow from your own presence instead of consuming it. You cannot pour endlessly from an empathy soul. Let your boundary become your wisdom. Let your restraints become your strength. Along with me, call this affirmation. I give my choice, not from guilt. My kindness has a limit, and that what make it pure. 6. The drama magnet. The most dramatic people on this earth. Wherever they go, chaos follows. The peace is at the lake. They are the stone that never stops. It's skipping across the surface, rippling everything around them. They are the drama magnet. These are the drama magnet. People addicted to the emotional turbulence who confuse intensity for intensity with connection and crisis with importance. At first they make life feel exciting. There is always a story, a conflict, a betrayal, a disrespect. You call the name, you will have it that. You get pulled into their orbit because they are never boring, but soon you realize the cost. Your mind is always on edge. Every conversation feels like walking through a minefield of gossip, conflict, and exaggerated emotion. When they are around, calm feels suspicious, silence feels dangerous, and simplicity feels dull. Stoicism teaches us the rhythm of life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, if you are disturbed by external things, it is not they that trouble you, but your own judgment of them. The drama magnet thrive by creating that disturbance. Their chaos become contagious. They feed on their reactions. You are a shock, your sympathy, your outrage because it validates their importance. Without drama, they feel invisible. You will recognize them easily. They always have a new enemy. Their relationships swing between love and hate. Within days, they speak in extremities. Always never have. We know when you try to calm the situations. They call you cold or unsupportive. But Stoic reminds us that peace is not found in noise, but in mastery of reactions. A Stoic doesn't need constant emotional stimulation because they understand the value of stillness. The drama magnet, however, fear it, silence them, threaten their identity. They exist only when something is happening. Hear how you reclaim your peace around them. Stop participating in their stories. When they gossip, change the subject or give a neutral response. You don't need a fix. Different our engage don't matter. Their emotions. They pull you in by getting you to react. Breathe slowly, answer calmly. When you follow this step, definitely you will be successful. Nothing frustrates a drama addict more than your composure. Control your assets. Limit contract drama. Need an audience. Don't be it. When they sense no reaction, they will look elsewhere for fuel. Refuse to personalize their source. Remember that the storm existing long before you enter it will continue after you leave. Seneca wrote, he who suffer before it is necessary, suffer more than necessary. Drama magnet makes every inconvenience a tragedy, but life is full of inconvenience. Stoicism turned them into training. Don't let someone else theater because your reality. When you distance yourself, they might accuse you of being detached or uncaring. That's fine. Let them strike a peace that will always look cold to those addicted to noise. You are not rejecting them. You are rejecting the cycle that keep you both trapped. Think of your mind as a temple. Not everyone deserves a shout inside it. Temple is the purity, it's a sanctity. So nobody is allowed to shout inside the temple. The more you guard the door, the clearer your inner voice becomes. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, you have a power over your mind. The drama magnet wants you to forget that truth. So remember it every time they invite you into chaos, choose silence instead of reaction. That's how you win without fighting. Along with me, call this affirmation. I am not a stage of other people. Chaos, my calm is my shield. My calm is my shield. 7. The self-destructive rebel. This is another kind of mankind. These rebels, they know exactly what they are doing, and that's what makes it painful to watch. You can warn them, support them, even pull them from the edge, but they will always find a new cliff to stand on. These are the self-destructive rebels, people who confuse recklessness with the freedom and pain, with proof that they are alive. At first, you might admire their courage. They break rule, speak their mind, chase adventures, but soon you realize they are not chasing growth. They are running from accountability. They sabotage jobs, relationship, and opportunities. They may not leave any opportunity unturned to laugh it off as just who I am. You try to help, but they interpret concern as control. You become the enemy simply for caring. Stoicism sees this pattern clearly. Epictetus warned, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The self-destructive rebels believes freedom means doing whatever they see or feel. The Stoics who real freedom is doing what is right. When you don't feel like it, they will reject discipline, calling it a limitation, not realizing that discipline is the only path to lasting power. They will say they don't need help, yet their actions seem otherwise. They drink to escape their mind, chase chaos for validation, and reject advice to protect their ego. They mistake rebellion for identity because deep down they are terrified of stillness, of meeting themselves without distraction. Stoicism calls this slavery to impulse. You can't save them because saving them removes the every lesson they must face consequences. Seneca once wrote, "Difficulty strengthens the mind as labor does the body." The self-destruction rebels avoid both. They want the thrill without the test, the reward without the responsibility. And when you step into a cushion, you deny them the one thing that could wake them up. In teaching power, show what can you do? Detach with love. You can care without caring. Say, I am here when you are ready to change, and mean it. Refuse to enable. Don't clean up the mesh they made to protect them from embarrassment. Let them sit in the discomfort for their choices. Total calm discipline. Your example speaks louder than any lectures. When they see consistency, they will realize what real strength look like. Accept your limit. You are not their savior. You are a mirror, not a net. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." So before somebody say you are a good man, you yourself be a good man. The best way to help a self-destructive person is to live your philosophy so clearly that it exposes their chaos without a word. They may hit bottom, and when they do, your absence will echo louder than your warning even could. Because that silence tell them no one can walk your path for you. Letting go of themselves means you stopped caring. It means you finally understood the stoic truth that each person owns their choice, their lesson, their freedom. Sometimes the most compassionate act is a stepping aside and letting life teach what you cannot. Affirmation. Sound it along with me. I release those who choose their own choice. I save my stand for my own mastery. You can love people and still walk away. You can care deeply and still protected. The conclusion of this discussion, of these 7 steps of the pupil, type of pupil in your life, your peace, that not cruelty, that wisdom. Stoicism reminds us that compassion without discernment become a slow form of self-destruction. So helping is sacred only when it uplifts both sides, not when it drains one to feed another. Across these 7 types, the victim, the lazy, the manipulator, the complainer, the taker, the drama magnet, and the rebel. The lesson is same. So, not everyone deserves your rescue. Some need silence, so others need distance, and a few must face the consequences. So, shielding them from is not a solution. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others, but strict with yourself." That doesn't mean endure everyone chaos. It means uphold your own standard. Virtue isn't measured by how much you suffer from mother, but by how wisely you give for yourself. So protect your time like it is gold. Guard your peace like it is oxygen. Help those who are ready to rise, not those who demand you sink with them. Because when you stop trying to save everyone, you finally save yourself. And that's where the truth, a stoic strength began. Affirmation. I help wisely, love freely, protect my peace fiercely. If you love this hearing, if you love this complete topic, then don't forget to subscribe and click thumbs up. Thank you.